Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. I've got a stack of comics that I didn't need to struggle to buy that are much better than previous weeks altogether. So we're going to start with Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. I know that there is some nakedness. I don't think there's anything that needs to be censored, but the free love, as they're calling it inside the book, continues. Meanwhile, this toxic, this manipulative gas is seeping up from down below, and it's having an effect with bleeding eyes. So, not great. But they're investigating it, they're checking into it. This is issue 8. The arc should end at issue 10, so I think things are only going to get worse from here. But for the moment, for most of the issue, look at that's going on. And their text, it's a little hard to tell, but that text bubble is green, not white. So you can see the difference there. Certainly something is going on. As I said, they're investigating. He's going down into the hole, trying to get a sample. Says that the sample seems to be evading him, which is weird. This is the sort of nakedness that I was talking about, so everything is very smushy. This is a great issue. There are some breasts I forgot about in here, but it's great, and it continues to be great, and I recommend it. It's a weird, I don't fully understand. Like, there's a lot about sort of relationships and how to give consent and, make sure that all parties are clear about the thing going into it. But there's also a lot of just like wasteland, Mad Max-ish, post-apocalyptic, weird, end of the world shit going on. So it's kind of a clash, but I'm enjoying it. This is the final issue of the John Kent miniseries. It's him versus the Injustice universe, basically. It's not completely wrapped up. Like, things do come to a conclusion. It's just not everything. And some of that has to do with the way that it ends. Like, I'm thinking specifically of Harley and Batman are... Is it Harley or Catwoman? I can't remember now. I think it's Harley. They're about to be publicly executed, and John stops that from happening, except we don't see them again. So, like, maybe they're set free? Possibly not. This seems excessively brutal. That's rough. This is from the preview pages, by the way. This I thought was pretty amazing. It's good. It sets up for what comes next. It's just not everything here honestly gets resolved, including the blue suit and what's up with the blue suit, but he does seem to have mastered it, he says. And I'm like, okay, but what the hell is it? What's going on? So it's good. It's going to continue. I'll show you this real quick. So this is what is coming next. And I imagine John is going to continue in some form after the next event. It's just I have no idea in what capacity yet. I'm curious to see what happens. And as long as Taylor is writing, I will probably keep reading. I enjoy John. Even, I guess I've gotten over the fact that he's been aged up. I still would have preferred him to stay his original age, but I begrudgingly have come to accept this new John. This one is kind of a surprise. So I'm actually borrowing this from Wilson of Shock and Awe Toy Reviews, possibly Shock and Awe Reviews, spoiler. But this was one of his picks of the week, and while I was just hanging around the cash register at the comic shop, I was flipping through it. I have not really been paying attention to symbiotes or Carnage, yes, specifically Carnage and Venom, for the last couple of years. So I don't know all of the characters that are in this. I've seen pictures of them. I've seen, headlines and things. I've sort of osmosed some recent symbiote stuff. But after reading this, I did look up some wikis. Like, I read about this guy who seems pretty cool. And then as I was flipping through this, I'm just like, it looks fun. It looks interesting. I generally like Cullen Bunn. He's been doing a bunch of horror stuff that isn't really my jam, so I've kind of been ignoring him for a couple of years, but he's back writing Venom, and there's a couple other titles that are coming up that I'm interested in, so look at that. So I'm just flipping through this over and over while at the cash register, and I'm like, I kind of want to read this. It looks like a lot of fun, and it turns out it is a lot of fun. I'm probably going to wind up getting the miniseries, but if you are at all interested in symbiotes, this is great. And spoilers, so if you don't want to see the last page, which I think is one of the selling points, I'm going to spoil one other thing, because I really kind of want a toy of this guy. Agent Spider-Man? Hell yeah. The Agent Venom suit, but in red and blue? Oh my god, I kind of love that. But this, I think, is what cinched it for me. This, real quick. Just seeing all of them together. I would also take a Black Cat Venom action figure. That would be cool. But this, holy shit. That's amazing. Look at that Craven. That's so messed up. I love it. Conan also has, I believe, one panel of bare breasts. It's either page 2 or 3. Let's see if I can skip it. So Conan, I grabbed the Jim Zub Free Comic Book Day issue a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed it, so I was looking forward to this. I'm always kind of cautious with Conan with the fantasy stuff, so I skipped Fire and Ice this week. I read the preview for that as well, and I did not enjoy it. So I skipped that. I grabbed this, and this is fantastic. It's kind of Conan versus zombies. It's amazing. And I'm going to say this is sort of... it might be... So the term graphic novel has existed for decades, and I feel like this is maybe one of the best examples of that. It feels like a novel reading it, but the writing is there to, I'm going to say, enhance the art. So, like, there's plenty of times where the art is telling a story, and sure, you can read the words and, you know, get some additional information, but the art very much tells the story, and then the writing adds atmosphere. Sometimes it adds context, but it really just feels written like a novel with art, and it's phenomenal. It's so well done. It's so well crafted. I love it. Look at this. Look at this scene. My god. I love it. So yes, writing, art, top of the game. I'm adding this absolutely to my pull list. Lastly, there is Sacrificers #1. This was not a Free Comic Book Day issue that I was able to get. I was looking forward to it. I generally like Remender and Fiumara. I enjoyed back when he was working on Hellboy universe stuff. So I had a lot of interest in this, and I wasn't able to find a preview. Actually, the first few pages here were released as a preview, I think, within the last week or two. So I read this, and it's kind of confusing. But basically, there's a dad who goes out and beats his son in a barn, which is hardcore. Like, that is rough. Wow. So, Sacrificers, I think the title is very literal. And then there's Bird Guy, Bird Family, really. And then there's this Fire Family. And there's some drama going on there as well. And that's about all that I was able to figure out. But we get to this at the end, and he's like, look, I don't really want to have to explain this to you. So get whatever out of it that you're able to. And I'm going to show this too. So this is a bunch of other Remender stuff. Deadly Class, one of my personal favorite comic series of all time. Death and Glory shows that you can do a car chase in comics. It's phenomenal. I gave up on Low. I think after the first issue, it just didn't seem like it was for me. I didn't read Scumbag. I gave up at 7 to Eternity, although I kind of want to try it again now that it's complete, maybe. But A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance is the one that I really want to talk about. Tokyo Ghost is also fantastic and personal favorite. Sean Gardner Murphy. So, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance was Remender's most recent series, which is very similar in the sense of he did not tell you any additional information. It's a sequence of events that happens, and you sort of, I think, get the most information if you read the solicitation text rather than what you get out of reading the comic. But I think it's very much, I think Sacrifice is going to be in the style of A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, where you just figure it out as you go. But Remender is fantastic. The art is gorgeous. I flipped through it. I didn't pause much on things, but it's very fantasy. If you couldn't tell from anthropomorphized bird people. But art's great. Story has me curious. I will get at least the next couple to see where this is going. But it's off to a very interesting start. So that's everything that I got this week. As far as pick of the week, I think I'm giving it to Conan, which really just shows all other comics how comics should be done. Writing, art, it's... I think I already said top of the game. It's literal. Like, it's so well done. I can barely find the words to express it, but it's incredible. If you are at all interested, I highly recommend checking this out. I'll be reading for as long as Jim Zub, I think, is writing, but it's off to just an incredible start. So that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.